Hello and welcome. Let's talk about something that can be incredibly confusing, especially as we get older. You hear from one person that you need more protein to stay strong, to keep your muscles from getting weak. Then you visit your doctor, you get some lab results back, and suddenly the word protein becomes a warning. It can feel like you're walking a tightrope, can't it? Trying to do the right thing for your body, but getting mixed signals at every turn. And please know, if you feel this way, you are far from alone. This isn't a small issue. Researchers from the renowned Johns Hopkins University estimate that more than half of all American seniors over the age of 75 have some form of chronic kidney disease. And the most startling part? Most don't even know it. Now, what your doctor might not have the time to fully explain in a 15-minute visit is the real secret to navigating this. The key to taking back control isn't just about how much protein you eat. The real power lies in understanding what kind of protein you choose. So if you've been feeling like you have to give up all your favorite foods, or if you've been telling yourself, well, this is just what getting older feels like, I'm here today to challenge that idea. There is so much you can do. In the next 25 minutes, we are going to clear up all that confusion. We're going on a deep dive together. We'll count down the 6 types of protein that can put an unnecessary strain on your kidneys. And more importantly, we'll celebrate the 4 best types of protein that can help you stay strong while protecting your precious health. This is about giving you a clear, simple roadmap to feel confident and in control of your diet and your well-being. The central problem we're tackling today is a tricky one, a real balancing act. As we age, our bodies absolutely need protein. It's the essential building block for our muscles. It helps us heal and it fights off infection. But at the same time, if your kidneys, your body's master filtration system, aren't working at 100%, processing that protein creates waste products. If those waste products build up in your blood, they can cause more damage and make you feel weak, nauseous, and tired. Our goal today is to solve this puzzle. We're going to show you exactly how to nourish your body and maintain your strength and independence without overburdening your kidneys. And the information we're sharing isn't just guesswork. Everything we'll discuss is based on research and guidelines from trusted American institutions that you know and respect, like the National Kidney Foundation, the world-famous Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins Medicine, as well as findings from peer-reviewed medical journals. Now, before we go any further, it is critically important that I state this up front. The advice in this video is specifically for people who have been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, or CKD, and are not on dialysis. If you are currently on dialysis, your nutritional needs are very different. In fact, dialysis actually removes protein from your blood, so your protein needs are higher. If you are on dialysis, please disregard the advice in this video and follow the specific plan given to you by your doctor and your renal dietitian. This distinction is absolutely vital for your health. To make this simple and clear, we're going to break it all down into a countdown. We'll start with 6 common protein sources that you may need to limit or avoid, and we'll explain exactly why they can be problematic. Then, we'll move on to the good news, the 4 fantastic, kidney-friendly proteins that you can build your meals around. For each and every one, we'll talk about the why behind the advice and give you simple, actionable tips you can start using today. And you'll definitely want to stick around for our #1 kidney-friendly protein choice. It's incredibly versatile, it's affordable, and it's one of the absolute safest and best choices you can make for your health. And of course, a quick but important reminder. I am not a doctor, and this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute through professional medical advice. Your body and your nutritional needs are unique, so please, always consult with your personal physician and, if possible, a registered dietitian to create a meal plan that is perfect for you. All right, are you ready? Let's begin our countdown, starting with the proteins you'll want to be mindful of. All right, let's start our countdown. Coming in at number 6 are those convenient grab-and-go foods that are so common in the American diet. Processed meats. We're talking about things like hot dogs, bacon, sausage, beef jerky, and yes, even many of the common deli and lunch meats you find sliced at the grocery counter. Now, the problem here isn't just the protein itself. These foods represent a triple threat to kidney health, and the danger is often hidden in the fine print. First, as you probably know, they are absolutely loaded with sodium, which is used to preserve them and add flavor. Too much sodium makes your body hold on to fluid, which can raise your blood pressure and force your heart and kidneys to work much harder than they should. But the second threat is the one most people don't know about. It's the hidden danger of phosphate additives. Unlike the natural phosphorus that's found in whole foods like beans or nuts, your body absorbs nearly 100% of these chemical phosphate additives. On an ingredient list, you'll see them disguised as words like sodium phosphate, polyphosphate, or really anything with the letters phos in the name. These additives put a direct and heavy burden on your kidneys. I remember a gentleman named Frank who was trying so hard to be careful with his diet. He'd have a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread for lunch every single day, thinking he was making a wonderfully healthy choice. What he didn't realize was that the packaged deli turkey and the slice of processed cheese he was using were loaded with these phosphate and sodium additives. He couldn't understand why his lab numbers just weren't improving. It wasn't until his dietitian sat down with him and had him read the tiny print on the back of those packages that he finally had his aha moment. So your action step here is to become a label detective. Before you put that package of deli meat, sausage, or hot dogs in your cart, flip it over. Scan the ingredient list. If you see words like sodium phosphate, pyrophosphate, or phosphoric acid, it's best to put it right back on the shelf. Your best bet is always to opt for fresh, unseasoned meats that you cook yourself whenever possible. Now, it's important to mention, if you're experiencing persistent swelling in your legs, feet, or ankles, or if your blood pressure is consistently high even with medication, that's a clear signal to schedule a visit with your doctor. These can be signs that your body is holding on to too much fluid and sodium, and it needs to be addressed. Frank's story about his sandwich brings up another ingredient he thought was healthy, which leads us directly to culprit number 5. Coming in at number 5 on our list of proteins to limit is the dairy aisle, specifically high phosphorus items like milk, many types of yogurt, and especially processed cheeses like American cheese or those soft cheese spreads in a jar. Here's the simple science. Your healthy kidneys do a beautiful, delicate dance of balancing all the minerals in your blood. But when they're struggling, a mineral called phosphorus can start to build up. When your blood phosphorus levels get too high, your body has a built-in emergency response. It tries to balance things out by pulling calcium directly from your bones. Over time, this can make your bones weak, brittle, and more prone to fractures. Processed cheese is a particular problem because, just like the processed meats we talked about, it's often made with those highly absorbable phosphate additives to make it melt smoothly. I like to think of it like a seesaw on a playground. On one seat you have calcium, on the other you have phosphorus. Healthy kidneys keep that seesaw perfectly level and balanced. But with kidney disease, the phosphorus side starts to get too heavy. To try and level the seesaw, Your body has to take calcium from the only storage bank it has, your bones, and put it on the other side. This is why your doctor might be very concerned about your phosphorus levels, even if you don't feel any symptoms yourself. So what's the action step? It's about being mindful and making smart swaps. Your dietitian might recommend limiting your intake of milk to a small amount, perhaps just a half a cup a day. And instead of that slice of American cheese on your sandwich, you can swap it for a small amount of a natural, lower phosphorus cheese. Good options include Brie, Swiss, or fresh mozzarella. Reading the label on milk alternatives is also key. Unenriched rice milk or almond milk are often much better choices than regular dairy milk because they are naturally lower in phosphorus. Now, as for red flags, if you start to experience new or unusual bone pain, joint aches, or even very itchy skin, these can sometimes be symptoms of high phosphorus levels in the blood. It's definitely something you should bring up with your healthcare team at your next visit. So we've covered hidden additives in meats and dairy, but what about the centerpiece of so many classic American meals? That brings us to number 4. At number 4, we have red meat. This category includes beef, pork, and lamb. Now let me be clear, this doesn't mean you can never enjoy a steak or a pork chop again. But for people with kidney concerns, it's a type of protein that really needs to be limited in both portion size and frequency. The main issue with red meat comes down to a concept called dietary acid load. Think of it this way. When your body digests any kind of protein, it creates a small amount of acid as a byproduct. It's your kidney's job to act as a filter and neutralize this acid, to keep your blood's pH perfectly balanced. The science shows that animal proteins, and especially red meats, produce a much higher acid load than proteins from plants. Forcing your kidneys to constantly work in overdrive to buffer all this extra acid can be very stressful for them. Over the long term, this high workload may contribute to a faster decline in kidney function. Here's an analogy I find helpful. Imagine you have a classic, beautiful car. The engine has been running well for 60, 70, or even 80 years. It's a great engine, but you wouldn't take it to the racetrack and redline it every single day, would you? Of course not. You'd use high-quality fuel, drive it gently, and treat it with care to make it last as long as possible. Eating a lot of red meat when you have kidney concerns is like redlining that engine. Plant-based proteins, which we'll get to, are like the premium clean-burning fuel that puts far less wear and tear on the system. Your action step here is all about portion and frequency. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases suggests that a proper portion of meat should be about 2 to 3 ounces once it's cooked. That's roughly the size of a standard deck of playing cards. It's smaller than most of us are used to. And consider making red meat a once-in-a-while food, maybe for a special occasion, rather than a daily staple. Swapping a beef burger for a skinless chicken breast or a piece of fish is a fantastic and simple kidney-friendly move. When should you talk to your doctor? If you're feeling persistent fatigue, a general sense of weakness, or a loss of appetite, these can be symptoms that waste products are building up in your blood, a condition known as uremia. This is a definite sign that it's time to see your doctor and get your lab work checked. Limiting red meat is a big positive step. But what about those snacks we all reach for? The ones we're told are so healthy. This next one might surprise you as we move to number 3. Coming in at number 3 on our list are certain nuts, seeds, and their butters. This one is particularly tricky because for most of the population, these are celebrated as fantastic health foods. But for someone managing kidney disease, they can be a hidden source of very high levels of potassium and phosphorus. Let's talk about potassium. Potassium is an electrolyte that is absolutely crucial for your nerves and muscles to work correctly, and it's especially important for maintaining a steady, regular heartbeat. Healthy kidneys are masters at keeping the potassium level in your blood within a very tight, safe range. When they can't filter it out properly, potassium can build up to dangerous levels. This condition is called hyperkalemia, and it can seriously affect your heart rhythm. Nuts like almonds and pistachios, for example, are particularly high in potassium, and many other nuts and seeds are also significant sources of phosphorus. I spoke with a woman named Carol, who is a picture of health. She loved her afternoon snack of a handful of almonds and a banana. For most people, that's a perfect snack, but she was having consistent trouble with her potassium levels showing up high on her lab reports. Her dietitian helped her connect the dots. That one healthy snack was actually delivering a huge dose of potassium that her body couldn't handle. It wasn't that the foods themselves were bad, but they were the wrong choice for her body's current needs. This is where smart swaps and careful portion control become your superpower. You don't have to give up nuts entirely. You just need to know which ones are kinder to your kidneys. The nuts that are lowest in potassium are macadamia nuts, pecans, and walnuts. A small, closed handful, about 1 ounce, is a reasonable portion size. If you love peanut butter, look for natural brands that have no added salt or sugar, and stick to a small serving, maybe 1 tablespoon, not 3. The key is to know which nuts are the lower potassium choices and to think of them as a small treat or a garnish, not a large snack. Now, this is very important. High potassium often has no symptoms until it reaches a critically dangerous level. This is why your regular blood tests are so incredibly important. However, if you ever experience muscle weakness, numbness, or tingling sensations, or especially an irregular heartbeat or chest pains, this is a medical emergency. You should call 911 immediately. So, we've learned that even so-called health foods require a closer look. And that's especially true for our next item, a breakfast staple for millions of Americans. Let's move on to number 2. At number 2 on our list of proteins to limit, we have the whole egg. For decades, we've gone back and forth debating the egg. But for people with kidney disease, the conversation is completely different. The issue isn't about cholesterol. Here's the simple science. The yellow egg yolk contains nearly all of the fat, and most importantly, for our discussion, nearly all of the phosphorus in an egg. A single egg yolk contains a significant dose of phosphorus, while the egg white contains almost none. The egg white, on the other hand, is a nutritional marvel for people with kidney concerns. It's almost pure, high-quality protein. So by eating the whole egg, you're getting a concentrated shot of phosphorus that your kidneys have to work hard to filter out. Think of it like this. The egg white is the lean, pure protein your body wants and needs. The yolk is a very nutrient-dense package, but it's a package that includes a lot of phosphorus. For someone with perfectly healthy kidneys, this isn't a problem at all. But for you, it represents an extra workload that we want to help your kidneys avoid. By separating the two, you can get all the benefit without the burden. This leads to one of the easiest and most effective action steps you can take. Simply choose egg whites. This is a fantastic swap. You can buy them conveniently in a carton at any grocery store, which makes them perfect for scrambling. Or you can easily separate your eggs at home. An omelet made with 3 or 4 egg whites and packed with colorful, low-potassium vegetables like bell peppers and onions is a truly outstanding, delicious, and kidney-friendly breakfast. And for the red flags, once again, high phosphorus often doesn't have obvious early symptoms. This is why I keep repeating it. Your regular lab tests are your best friend. They are your body's early warning system. Please, be sure to keep up with your appointments and have an open conversation with your doctor about what your results mean. This brings us to our number one protein to avoid. This one is a bit of a catch-all, and it's all about what's hidden inside. And finally, coming in at number one on our list, we have a category that might be a real surprise for many of you: heavily processed plant-based proteins and meat alternatives. I'm talking about many of the common veggie burgers, vegan sausages, and imitation meats that you find in the freezer aisle of the supermarket. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, you just said plant protein is better for the kidneys, and you are absolutely right. Whole food plant protein is fantastic. But many of these highly engineered processed products are loaded with the very same villains we've already unmasked: a ton of sodium and those sneaky phosphate additives. Food manufacturers use these chemicals to improve the texture, mimic the flavor of meat, and extend the shelf life of the product. The unfortunate truth is that a store-bought veggie burger can be just as high in sodium and highly absorbable phosphorus as a fast food beef burger if it's been heavily processed. In this case, it's the processing, not the plant, that's the problem. This is a very modern-day trap. We see the words plant-based on the front of the box, and our brain immediately thinks healthy. But to be a truly savvy guardian of your health, you have to become a detective and read the back of the box. The ingredient list tells the real story. If that list is a mile long and filled with chemical names you can't pronounce, including those words with "phos" in them, it's probably not your best choice. Your action step here is to prioritize whole food plant proteins, which we are just about to get to in our top 4 list. If you do decide to buy a packaged meat alternative, please read that label carefully. Look for products with short ingredient lists made from foods you recognize, and check the nutrition panel for the sodium content. A great goal is to look for foods with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. As for red flags, this point is really all about prevention. By choosing to avoid these highly processed foods, you are actively helping to keep your blood pressure, your phosphorus levels, and your body's fluid balance in check. And that is one of the most powerful things you can do to support your long-term kidney health and avoid future complications. Okay, let's just take a quick breath. That was the avoid list, and I know it can seem like a lot. But let's recap. We talked about being mindful of processed meats, high phosphorus dairy, red meat, certain high potassium nuts, whole eggs, and heavily processed meat alternatives. The common thread that runs through almost all of these is simple. The real danger often lies in the industrial processing and the hidden additives like sodium and phosphorus. It's about looking past the marketing and reading the label. And by the way, if this information is helping to clear things up for you, if it's giving you that aha moment, it would mean the world to me and our team if you take just a second to tap that like button below the video. It's such a small click for you, but it's a huge signal to YouTube that this is valuable information, and it helps us reach and empower more people just like you. Thank you for that. Now, are you ready for the fun part? Let's flip the script. Enough of what to avoid. Let's talk about the fantastic, delicious, and healthy proteins you can and should be eating. These are the true game changers. Let's start our countdown of the top 4 kidney-friendly proteins. Kicking off our Eat More of this list at number 4 is a reliable, wonderful classic, skinless chicken and turkey. This is a fantastic source of what we call high-quality protein, and it's naturally lower in saturated fat and phosphorus than many other animal sources. Skinless poultry provides all those essential amino acids your body needs to maintain muscle mass and heal itself, but it does so efficiently. It gives your body what it needs without as much of the extra stuff, like phosphorus, that your kidneys have to work hard to filter out. A simple baked chicken breast is truly one of the cornerstones of a healthy, kidney-friendly diet. I like to think of it as the reliable family sedan. It's safe, it's dependable, and it gets you where you need to go without any unnecessary fuss. It's a food you can really count on. The key to keeping it kidney-friendly is all in the preparation and the portion size. Always choose skinless cuts and prepare them by baking, grilling, poaching, or stir-frying instead of deep frying. It's very important to avoid pre-marinated or breaded chicken you buy at the store, as those coatings and sauces can be a major source of hidden sodium and phosphorus. And remember, that deck of cards portion size we talked about 3 ounces once it's cooked. You can make it incredibly flavorful by using herbs and spices instead of salt. A simple sprinkle of garlic powder, onion powder, and a little smoked paprika can make a world of difference and tastes absolutely delicious. Now, while this is a safe choice for most, it's always important to follow the portion guidance from your dietitian. Eating too much of any kind of protein, even a healthy one, can still put a strain on the kidneys. Chicken is a great animal protein, but what if you want to enjoy more plant-based meals? Our next choice is a nutritional powerhouse, as long as you know one simple but brilliant trick. At number 3, we have beans and legumes, foods like kidney beans, black beans, chickpeas, and lentils. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute, a few minutes ago you put beans and nuts on the avoid list because they're high in potassium. And you are absolutely right, they are. But this is where knowledge truly becomes power. Beans are a phenomenal source of plant-based protein and are packed with fiber, which is wonderful for your heart health and digestion. Just as importantly, they have a much lower acid load than meat, which makes them fundamentally easier on your kidneys. The only catch is their potassium content. But here is the magic trick. A significant amount of that potassium can be leached out and washed away with simple preparation techniques. This is one of my absolute favorite tips to share with people because it's so empowering. It's like discovering a secret feature on something you already own. You might have thought that all beans were off limits for you, but with a little bit of know-how, you can unlock all of their amazing health benefits while minimizing the risk. It turns a no into a yes if. So here is your powerful action step. If you're starting with dried beans, the best method is to soak them in a large amount of water for several hours, or even overnight. Then, and this is the crucial part, you must discard that soaking water, add fresh water, and then boil them as you normally would. If you're using canned beans, it's even easier. Canned beans are often lower in potassium to begin with because they've been sitting in liquid. All you have to do is pour them into a colander or a strainer and rinse them thoroughly under cool, running water for a minute or so. This simple step can wash away a significant amount of both the potassium and the sodium from the canning liquid. Even with these wonderful techniques, it's always wise to incorporate beans into your diet gradually and keep an eye on your lab results with your doctor. If you find your potassium levels are starting to creep up, have a conversation with your dietitian. They can help you find the perfect balance for your body. So we've learned how to make beans our friend. Now let's talk about a protein that can actively help fight inflammation in the body. That brings us to number 2. Our number 2 kidney-friendly protein is fish, especially those fatty fish that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. We know that chronic kidney disease is often associated with a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. So, eating foods that can help calm that inflammation is a huge benefit for your overall health. In fact, some large studies suggest that adequate consumption of seafood may even help to prevent or delay the progression of chronic kidney disease. Fish provides a high-quality protein that is great for your heart and can be great for your kidneys too. I like to think of inflammation as a tiny fire that's always smoldering in the background inside your body. Omega-3 fatty acids are like the firefighters that come in and help to gently put out that fire. Adding a couple of servings of the right kind of fish to your week is a delicious and effective way to call in those firefighters. Your action step is to choose fish that are high in those healthy omega-3s but low in mercury. Excellent, safe choices include salmon, light canned tuna. It's important to choose light tuna, as albacore or white tuna is higher in mercury. Black sea bass and trout. And again, that 3-ounce deck of cards portion size is your guide. A simple piece of baked salmon with a squeeze of fresh lemon and a sprinkle of dill is a perfect, elegant, and kidney-friendly meal. One thing to note, if you have a history of gout or high uric acid, you might need to be a bit more selective about your fish choices. So that's a great conversation to have with your doctor. And always opt for fresh or frozen fish over heavily salted, smoked, or pickled versions. And now we're down to our number one choice. It's plant-based, it's animal-based, it's incredibly versatile, low in phosphorus, and a true superstar for kidney health. And here we are, at the number one spot on our list. I'm actually giving you a tie for the top spot because both of these protein sources are just that good, that safe, and that beneficial. Tofu and egg whites. These two are the champions for a few very important reasons. Let's start with tofu. Tofu, which is made from soybeans, is a complete, high-quality plant protein that has a very low acid load, making it incredibly gentle on the kidneys. Another amazing benefit is that the phosphorus found in plant foods like tofu is naturally bound in a way that makes it harder for your body to absorb, compared to the phosphorus in animal foods. So less of it even gets into your bloodstream to begin with. And then we have egg whites. As we already discussed, they are the very definition of a clean, efficient protein. They give you all the powerful protein of an egg with virtually zero phosphorus and zero fat. For someone managing kidney health, egg whites are one of the safest, most direct ways to get the protein your body needs without any of the extra baggage that can cause problems. I have a friend named Bill who, after he was diagnosed with CKD, felt like his diet had become so bland and restrictive. Then, his dietitian encouraged him to discover tofu. He learned how to press it properly and marinate it, and it became the star of his weekly stir-fries. It was like a sponge, absorbing all the delicious flavor of fresh garlic, ginger, and a little low-sodium soy sauce. For him, it wasn't about restriction anymore. So your action step is to give these a real try. For tofu, choose the firm or extra firm variety. The secret to making it delicious is to press it before you cook it. Just wrap the block in a few paper towels, put it on a plate, and place something heavy on top, like a cast iron skillet or a few books, for about 20 minutes. This squeezes out the excess water and allows it to get wonderfully firm and absorb marinades. Then you can cube it for a stir-fry or crumble it for a scramble. And for egg whites, the carton is your best friend. They are pre-separated, easy to pour, and ready to go. These are two of the safest and best choices you can make. But as with everything, it's about fitting them into your overall personalized dietary plan. Your dietitian can help you figure out the right amounts that work for you. So, as we've seen together today, navigating protein with kidney disease isn't about fear or a long list of things you can never eat again. It's about becoming a smart consumer and a knowledgeable chef in your own kitchen. It's about understanding the why behind the food choices, favoring those gentle plant proteins, being a detective who can spot processed additives like sodium and phosphorus, and knowing how simple preparation techniques, like soaking your beans, can unlock a world of more food choices for you. The most important message, the one thing I truly want you to take away from our time together today, is this: you are in the driver's seat of your own health. This knowledge is your roadmap. By making these small, intelligent swaps, choosing chicken over sausage, opting for egg whites instead of whole eggs, or trying a delicious tofu stir-fry, you are taking powerful, active steps to protect your kidneys, to maintain your strength, and to preserve your precious independence for many years to come. Now, I would love to hear from you. In the comments section below, please share one thing from this video that was a surprise to you, or that gave you an aha moment. Was it the tip about soaking beans, or the truth about the additives in processed deli meats? I read every single comment, and your insights and experiences help our whole community learn and grow together. And finally, if you found this deep dive helpful and you want more clear, empowering health information to help you live your most vibrant and healthy life, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay strong, and remember to be kind to your kidneys. I'll see you in the next video.